Great. Those anthems now take us into the next step, but be seated. Kindly be seated. Yes. Karibuni tena. So far, so good. We've enjoyed our stay in Worcester, and this is to let you know that this is our third time doing an event like this in Massachusetts. So our first time was in 2023, I think around August, and we were in this particular room. Last year, we were in Draycott. Have I pronounced it well, Reverend? Draycott. Yeah, great. So who was in Draycott with us last year? Kuna wengi wameniambia wako njiani walikuwa na sisi last year. Repeat delegates. So if you are coming for the first time, we want to welcome you to this movement. This is a movement. So Champs Media has been hosting these forums for the last 3 years. And you are now, let me say, the host of the 31st chapter of this forum. So this is the 31st forum. So you can imagine, in just 3 years, you know, many people organize forums like this, maybe once a year, for example, targeting the entire US. But we've been moving from city to city, and we've done 31 so far. So we began this journey in 2023, and we've done across the world. We've been to Australia, we've been to UK, we've been to various cities in the US, and every year again, we normally now wind up with what we call Daring Diaspora Returnees Forum. So for example, this year, we will have a Returnees Forum in Nairobi on 24th of October at Sarova Pan-Africa Hotel. So it's a journey that goes around the world, and then we wind up in Kenya. This journey began because the diaspora community liked what we were doing before, and they said, why not be organizing so that we talk to each other? So it stems from our show known as Daring Abroad, which we've done from 2014. I quit my employment in 2013. My last employer was Royal Media Services, and I began a journey of telling your diaspora story in a manner that has never been told before. So far, we've featured well over 2,000 people in the diaspora, including returnees as well. And it's a feel-good series. We tell stories of impact, stories about your welfare, stories about investment, stories about skills and knowledge transfer, stories you will not find in your typical news bulletin. So that's what I stepped out of the newsroom to do, and I've been supported by very competent professionals, young people in my company. I've employed about 30 people. So when you see the three of us who I'm going to introduce, we have others in Nairobi. Those who have visited our office in Nairobi, you know how busy our production house is. So apart from Daring Abroad, we show you quite a lot at what's happening in Kenya. I remember we documented the Nairobi Expressway as it was being built and when it was commissioned. So when you are here, you just visualize. You wouldn't know. And in news, as I said, I've been there. You are likely to get snippets, but nobody will give you a comprehensive, well-told, complete story about any particular project. So you get to hear that quite a lot from us. Just the other day, I was on one mic show. I think it's headquartered in Washington, D.C. While I was on the show, a caller called and said, I'm a Jamaican living in Canada. And I want to thank the Daring Abroad show because it showed me opportunities in Kenya, and I've bought 9 parcels of land and invested in apartments in Kenya, and I'm farming in Naivasha. The host said, who? Say the name again. Alex Chamwada. Yes, Alex Chamwada. So you can see the impact that it goes beyond borders. So this gentleman is bringing more investors to Kenya. So we've contributed a great deal to remittance inflows back home. What I'm saying is ours is not just telling stories. They are stories of impact. They are stories about you. Stories about even about Turkana County that you only know from maybe famine, drought, banditry, but nobody will tell you the potential and what's happening in Turkana. The best highway, one of the best highways in Kenya now, is cutting through Lodwar to the border with South Sudan, complete with a fiber optic cable and transforming lives. Very few are likely to tell you that, and people are investing there. We were at a restaurant there, a hotel, and they told us they got some 10 whites who went to stay at the hotel. When they were asked, how did you know about this hotel? They said, through Chams Media, through Daring Abroad story. That's the impact. So you are here for a reason. You are part of this movement. We've formed a movement to transform how we look at things in the diaspora and back home, so that when you are even on the phone, yes, you like to see the sensation, the what, but on that phone, in just about 15 minutes, what can you get for yourself using that phone? What is it that we're able to churn out? And I quit the newsroom so that I have time with my skills, knowledge, to tell these things independently in a complete manner. So I'm just highlighting some of the impact of what we've been doing, and we wouldn't achieve without your support, without the diaspora supporting us. So we've gotten quite a lot of support from the diaspora, including the diaspora communities, and we really don't take this for granted. So many of you know the Daring Abroad story, so I'm expounding so that you know it's beyond the Daring Abroad story. So that even in that Daring Abroad series, we would probably be featuring Reverend Kang'ethe, part 1. Part 2, we are telling you about an investment opportunity back home. So we have a segment called Back Home. Other than that, so we are a production house. People approach us for communication strategies, for documentaries, you know, and people thought, for example, I'm just explaining that when you come out, then you are selling content, you won't reach far. Ours, we don't sell content. We create content to partner with the people. We are like a marketing firm, PR. I'm using my skills to do differently and not wait. I'll give NTV 6 minutes of your story to pay me. No, I wouldn't have even done a week. So you can imagine and ask yourself, so how are you able to go around the world? You know, because I think we are some of the most traveled journalists, I would say, so producers in Kenya. Because you see us here today, maybe in the next 1 month we'll be in Australia and so on. It is barter trades, it's networks, it is you. It is beyond just even your simple budgets. You know, it's not even just about the money. So while we are doing the Daring Abroad story, you will find now someone, maybe World Bank, has contracted us to document certain stories. So we've now created a niche of telling human interest, development-related, impact-oriented stories. So like the road I'm telling you about, sometimes we just go with our cameras, with Edison, to document something. So you find then World Bank was able to see those stories, and they called us, wow, you are doing something different from what we normally see. So we want now, there is a budget here to document the impact of the road that we've built in Turkana. So we do documentaries, features, and that's how we're able to sustain and not depending on, I want to do your story and supply somewhere so that I'm paid by any media. No, it is a whole business that is modeled on, you know, the typical way of just running a business. We are compliant, KRA, and so on. And I've trained my staff. They have trained in many areas, including drone photography. Many of my journalists and cameras have skills that you wouldn't find in many production houses. I'm saying this not to blow our trumpet, but just to tell you, because someone was asking me, so how do you manage? So it's simpler than just jumping into a plane and saying, oh, Alex would travel a lot and he's feeling nice, it's about traveling. No, it's more than that, and you are part of this journey. So let me introduce my colleagues here. We have Patrick Okinda, if you can wave or stand in the center so that they see you. Are you seeing Patrick Okinda properly? Yeah. Patrick Okinda is actually the engine behind the investment forums. He's our coordinator of these forums. And then we have Mr. Edison Mutumba. Edison is the man behind the cameras. Those who've been featured on our show, I'm sure you know Edison. And yeah, we work as a team. So the forums came because many of you said, if you come to Massachusetts, you are likely to feature Maina, Rina, Kangede, 3 people, and go maybe to another state. But if you do a forum, then we are all coming to share our story. So I may not be in that particular story, in a story, a standalone story, but I've shared something in that forum. We've networked, we've talked. And then you find it's bigger and much, much impactful than just coming and picking a few stories and going. Then our networks keep growing and growing so that you know so many influencers, you know, and they'll tell you how much following they have. Millions. Isn't Peter? I have 1 million followers on Facebook. But are they real? Have you ever met them? But us, we've met our followers so that when we tell you this is our following, it's tangible. You can touch. So imagine how many people are here. Imagine how many we met in Houston. Imagine how many we met last year. So we've been building real, tangible contacts so that these contacts are able to turn into something that can improve your welfare and maybe the welfare of Kenya. And so many people get educated through our activities, the storytelling and forums like this. So we've done Houston this year. We were in Houston on 19th of July. Then we went to New Jersey last weekend. So you are third. This is the 31st, as I told you. We will wind up in Washington, D.C. next weekend. If you're able to attend, please come and attend. So that will be the end of the series in the U.S. for this year, and then we'll plan for next year again. That is a brief of why we are here and what Daring Abroad investment forums are all about. And it's quite encouraging to see that you support the cause, and we'll keep working together to make it happen. So we'll be beginning our presentations in a moment, but to just let you know, our Balozi, our ambassador to the U.S., His Excellency David Kerich, is around. He arrived this morning, and he's preparing to come and join you. So he'll listen in when he catches up, and then he'll be with us up to the end. That is one announcement. The other announcement is we have some vouchers to be won, some gifts up for grabs. We have Kenya Airways voucher, $500, which if you win, you can use to redeem your air ticket to top up for an air ticket or upgrade to business class or use as to pay for extra luggage. And this is on the Nairobi, New York route. Then we have Safari Link, domestic ticket for a couple on a domestic destination. That is Safari Link. So you could be from wherever, whether Kisumu, come to Nairobi, but the destination is a beach destination or a bush destination. Bush destination is, for example, Mara or Samburu, they fly there. Or a beach is Malindi, Diani. So that is Safari Link voucher for a couple. And then we have KWS, who are also partnering with us. We have a voucher for a holiday for a group. Is it 7, Patrick? To Meru, a lodge in Meru National Park. We want to thank our partners. Then we want to, which we'll highlight them later on, but to thank all the other partners who are here, who've supported us, and you've been interacting with them. So really, this is to say we really appreciate you, feel at home, and you'll get your moment to talk to us and tell us what you do. And then we have our speakers who will be presenting to us. So for those with PowerPoints, you'll bear with us. There's something the hotel is still trying to fix here, but in just a moment. In the meantime, I would like to invite my colleague, Patrick Okinda, to tell us about the sister companies of Chams Media. So I've told you about Chams Media Limited and what we do, but we have 3 sister companies, but specifically, Patrick, you'll tell us about Chams Adventures and Chams Insurance and who we are partnering with at Chams Insurance. Tumpigie Patrick makofi akikuja. Patrick Okinda.
Thank you, Alex. Is it evening or afternoon? It's evening. Good evening, Worcester. How are we doing today? Yeah, we are very happy to be back to Worcester. Alex mentioned it's our third time to be in Massachusetts, and our second time in Worcester particularly. So you can see we love Worcester, and we know that you love us because you have continuously supported us. As Alex mentioned, you know so much about Champs Media, and the good news is that Champs Media has siblings. And who wants to take a guess on who these siblings are? Probably from the banners around, you can spot one. There is Champs Adventures, which is behind there. That is our sister company that deals in tours, travel, safaris. And the good news is that when you are walking in today, you are picking here tickets. And I'm sure you have your raffle ticket with you. Can I see them? The blue raffle tickets. So that's part of what we do at Champs Adventure. We organize travel, safaris, and those tickets will help you to have access to some of the holiday destinations that you love to visit, because one of the opportunities you can win today is a beach or bush safari ticket on Safari Link. That is places like Lamu, Diani, Mombasa. Which other beach or bush destinations do you know in Kenya? So most likely, where Safari Link travels to or flies to, you might get a ticket to that destinations. And we organize these packages with Champs Adventures. If you are not the lucky one on Safari Link, you might get Kenya Airways, and that is a package of $500, which can give you an upgrade to maybe business class, or you can use it to have a better arrangement with your luggage. And also, we have another opportunity for Meru National Park. You can have a lodge in Meru National Park, a group of 8, which is a good thing, and many other things that we do at Champs Adventures. So Champs Adventures deals in safaris, tours, and travel. And in case you're planning to have a vacation, always feel free to contact us. You can visit our website. You can see us here today. For yourself, for your family, or for your group. We are always here to help. So that is Champs Adventures. And our second sister company is called Champs Insurance Agency. Champs Insurance Agency. So Champs Insurance Agency deals in insurance brokerage and agency, as the name suggests. So what we do is that we partner with various underwriters in Kenya. And we help you, we link you with the best packages for your people back home who might want to benefit from insurance packages. So let me bring this to context. You need not to answer the following questions, but you just need to think about how you've spent in the following areas. Between now and the last 1 year, how much have you spent in taking care of people that are very close to you back home, be it your parents, your siblings, or maybe children that are close to you? Maybe they're your sisters or brothers' children. Just think about how much money you have spent in that budget. Statistically, with the remittances statistics, is that a lot of remittances that comes from the diaspora back to Kenya actually goes in paying medical bills. Whether it is out-of-pocket bills, whether it's being called in the morning when you wake up going to work that someone needs to go to hospital and you don't have money, and you are the big brother or the big sister or the tall uncle in the diaspora who needs to take care of that bill. When that bill comes, somehow you have to play a role. And what we are doing with Champs Insurance is to help you organize your expenditure around this, and also to provide a convenient way of taking care of your loved ones back home. So how can you do this? It is basically through buying an insurance policy for them. So we partner with various underwriters who are able to provide the policies that are fit for your loved ones. And one such underwriter is AAR Insurance. Have you seen AAR in the room? Yes, this banner here. So AAR Insurance has a package that is called the Seniors Cover. Seniors in our societies, as per the policy with AAR Insurance, are those people who are between the age of 65 years and 85 years. So these are likely to be our parents back home. So if you're taking care of someone who is between the age of 65 years and 85 years, there's a package called Seniors with AR Insurance that gives you the opportunity to grant them a policy that can cover them for 1 year, and you can always renew it. And the good news is that if they enroll on the seniors package and maybe at some point they exceed the age of 85, they will continue using the cover. So let's say if you enroll them and they are not yet 85, when they turn 85 at some point in future, you do not have to look for another cover. The same seniors cover will continue to work for them because the cover will have already picked their consumption, and it will be very easy to deal with underwriting. So that is the seniors cover with AAR, and this cover is affordable. For the budget that you thought about when we began this discussion, you realize that most likely you are spending more with out-of-pocket expenditures on these medical bills than when you'd actually buy a cover for them. And the good news also is that these covers do not discriminate in any way, be it even if someone has a chronic illness, we'll just want to have a medical assessment to know how far has this chronic illness gone. But the cover does not say no to any chronic illnesses. So that one even gives you a better peace of mind in how to manage the various illnesses that might be affecting our loved ones back home, so that they have quality health care and enjoy their life as senior citizens of our republic. So that is the seniors cover with AR Insurance. I know you have various questions. This is normally a personal engagement, and we are around. If you see me around, or Alex, or you can always reach us through WhatsApp or our website. We can always be able to help. So the second thing about what we do with Champs Insurance is also to partner with underwriters who are able to sort you out when you're here in the US. Now you realize with the AR seniors cover, basically it takes care of the seniors back in Kenya because it is geographically limited to Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Basically it's East Africa because that's the underwriting geography for the seniors cover. And for other people who maybe are not in that age bracket, this is not to say there is no cover for them. There is cover also for those ones who are maybe below 65 and above 85. There are other covers for that. I just chose to highlight that one because from statistics, that is what might be affecting most of us. But in case you have any other category and you want to ask, feel free. There are many covers that can take care of you, including SME covers. If you run a small business back in Kenya and you want to spread the risk of maybe transportation, cargo, you want to cover your employees, or you want to distribute your risks to do with the holding stock or any form of SME risk, you can always reach out so that your business back in Kenya is safe, even as you dare abroad. So our second partner with Champs Insurance, our sister company, is called Birdview Insurance. Birdview deals with, you have the flyers for Birdview on your table. Birdview deals with medical cover policies that can take care of you even here in the diaspora, especially with evacuation, repatriation, and last expense. So we know that these are issues that happen to us closely, and the best way to try and manage these circumstances when they happen is to have a plan around it. So feel free to contact the numbers on those flyers with Birdview or reach out to us, Champs Insurance Agency. We are around here. We can be able to help you and see how your budget is sufficient to take care of the various medical and also other last expense risks that you may want to have access to. I don't know if I'm allowed to take a question, Alex, at this point. Yes, so maybe there's a question with that, because I'm not going to introduce another sister for Champs Media. Those are the two siblings.
As I told you, our sessions are really, really interactive. Maybe there will be no other time for questions. If you have one or two questions for Patrick on insurance, you've heard about repatriation, evacuation, deportation. Those are quite important areas of discussion when it comes to diaspora, insuring your folks back home, traveling, Champs Adventures. Any question or any comment? It could be a comment, it could be a question. Any? Feel free. Sema jina alafu you talk. Okay.
Yeah, my name is Ben Nyakwana. So the question I have is in regard to repatriation. So I just wanted you to describe and explain to us in detail what that exactly means, because it can mean a lot of things to different people. Yeah.
Patrick?
Okay, so with repatriation insurance is basically maybe you want to take care of and maybe there's a possibility of wanting to move back to Kenya, and maybe this could be something affecting you legally, or there could be a deportation, perhaps. So this insurance can take care of such an expense. But also, if there's someone who passes on out here, and maybe there is need for their body to be returned back to Kenya. So if you want to handle that quite in advance, so that maybe some of us are those people who want to make sure that should our time come to an end, we want our remains to be laid to rest with our ancestors back in the country. So if you are in that category, maybe that's a good cover for yourself. I know there are many other options of having yourself of choosing where you can rest, but I think this is all about your final journey back to Kenya, and you can budget with this insurance cover. So what we do is that we can have a discussion and see how much you want to allocate to that, and we can give you premiums that can take care of that, or probably you want to do this as a community. Sometimes it works well when you do a community pool. You see the way we do the WhatsApps? So those WhatsApp groups can actually be a very good example of how this insurance works. So the interesting thing about that is that the policies have to be customized with your various interests, because it is very difficult to deal with a blanket kind of situation, because there are so many situations. There are various ways in which you want to travel back to Kenya. And for all those categories, all those arrangements, we can be able to tailor something for you. But basically, that is what it is in general terms. Yeah, the answer can be more specific when there is a particular context, which maybe we can have an engagement when you express interest.
Yeah. Any other question? I think insurance now is really breaking it down. So if you are interested, then Patrick is here, and we can link you up with our other partners, so you discuss case by case. You know how insurance works. It's about premiums. It's about now breaking it down to what level, what premiums do you want. There are those who've already signed up to the places we've been going to, Zambia and so on, where now, for example, they come in as a group, especially on repatriation, last mile expenses. Last mile expenses is bogging the diaspora quite a lot, where you have to form WhatsApp groups and changa. So maybe that will save you the burden of changaring kila wakati mchango ambazo haziishi. So that can be discussed case by case. Patrick is here, and we can link you up with our relevant partners. That is AAR Insurance and Birdview Insurance. Any other question or a comment? Question?
The question I had in mind was, if you're traveling in Kenya with a family, and one of, say, a child or yourself, you get unwell, or you have involved in some sort of calamity where you needed to be flown back to the US for further medical treatment, does the insurance cover that?
Yes, so the evacuation part of that cover takes care of that. So if you purchase, particularly, if you categorize evacuation as your area of interest, there'll be enough allocation to evacuation. Should there be an emergency, or is it a case of medical evacuation? There could be various reasons why you need to be evacuated. So basically, what you're mentioning is health issues. You develop a health complication, and you want to be evacuated. Other scenarios will be our friends, let's say, in the Middle East or in Ukraine. You might want to be evacuated for such situations. So that's basically under evacuation policy. So it can take care of that. And also on matters being moved for medical reasons, for the seniors covered by AR insurance, if you purchase an AR insurance, let's say for your parents, and your mom or your brother or your sister or your dad is visiting you here in the US, and maybe they develop an illness, they can spend, depending on the kind of cover you take, there's an allocation for their treatment while here in the US, provided that it was not anticipated that they're coming for treatment. By saying it was not anticipated they're coming for treatment, there is one way in which someone can get sick in Kenya, and you make travel arrangements to go and treat them elsewhere, let's say in India, or you want to bring them to US to be treated. That's a different case. But someone who was just traveling for any reason, let's say they have come for a graduation, or they have come to see you here in the US, and the main reason for travel was not medical, it was just other reasons, visiting, business, what, and during their time outside Kenya, they develop a medical issue. The seniors covered by AR can also take care of half of the medical bills out here. But I do not want to mention particular allocation because now it will vary according to which package you take. But it can take care of that. So I think that's a comprehensive answer, unless you have a follow-up. Okay, thank you for that question. I believe you have asked for many.
Okay, I think we can leave it there for now.
So for a parting shot, Alex, buying an insurance cover for yourself is just being mindful of the possible medical budgets that might pop up when you don't have money. But buying an insurance cover for someone is actually a sign of love and an assurance that you care. And you actually give that person and yourself peace of mind to know that if it's a headache, for our people back home, especially our parents, sometimes they might feel like wanakusumbua when they tell you they need to go to hospital. So they won't say because they don't want to appear like they are disturbing you, and so they will just call it a headache, so they won't go to hospital. But if they had an insurance cover, they'll go to hospital and say, I have a headache, and they'll be told, this is not a headache, it's an ailment. So sometimes one of the reasons why people don't go to hospital in good time is because they think, oh, we can manage this instead of wasting money. But if you have an insurance cover, it actually increases how soon someone goes to hospital when they need to. Otherwise, I look forward to further engagements. We will project our contacts once we set up the screen, and you can feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.
Makofi kwa Patrick. Hayo makofi hatoshi. Makofi tena kwa Patrick. I think, give me that mic. It seems to be better. Yeah. Great. And we want to thank those who are online watching us, and we are receiving great comments. So far, so good. People are watching us from across the world, and you are in the right place. So maybe umeonekana kwa village yenu ukiwa hapa. Yeah, great. I really want to recognize one person who will come to speak later, at least mjue, because he's been part of supporting us to organize these events. And this particular gentleman, I met him, I think in 2022 in Washington, D.C. It may have been earlier, just around the time, it was around inauguration time. So, and we've been journeying along together, and he's one of our consultants who really give us ideas, help us in just shaping it up. So he's been part of those who have been, the engine behind and supporting us from this side of the US. Sisi tuko kule Kenya, Batea ako huko. Simama Peter Karenge wakuone, simama tu. Tumpigie Peter Karenge makofi. Yeah, he doesn't normally like a lot of publicity, but nimemleta. So he's the founder of B360. B Solutions, he'll tell you more about this. It's about business strategies and cross-border trade, those nice technical terms between Kenya and the US. And he's also an architect. He'll tell you more about that side of his business later. So I just wanted to recognize him because without him, We couldn't have done so much from this side ourselves. Then we have Grace Nyadira. She's stepped out a little, but she's also been supporting us. You know her very well. We have others who are community leaders who will be joining us later. They are somewhere, but they'll be joining us. They are in some function. After that function, they'll be coming here. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Reverend Samuel Kang'ethe. Tumpigie makofi. Yes. Now, he's going to address us on a very important topic. You hear remittances. Remittances is such a nice word, remittances, remitting back home. And you're sending money back home in one way or another. Where is that money going? Some is for social issues, you know, and he's one of those who has done so much in remitting money back home into welfare and charity back home. And as the founder of Liberty Churches, he's going to tell us how all these are intertwined while you are living here, serving humanity, but you're also serving humanity back home. So, Reverend, karibu sana. It's your turn. Tumpigie makofi. And also Focus Dream Center, he'll tell us what it's all about. Karaoke.
Asante. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening. Praise the Lord. God is good. And all the time. And you know, I have been going to Kenya so many times, and they is finished by saying, and that is his nature. The nature of God is always good. No matter where you are, no matter the situation that you are in, no matter what you're going through, the nature of God is always good. And if God is always good to us, we need to be good to God also. As my friend have said, my name is Reverend Samuel Kariuki, born and brought up in Kenya, in central Kenya, especially in Gatundu North. Then I went to Roiro, that's where now I call home, but also I migrated here in the US and here in Worcester. So I want to take this opportunity also for those who have not come from Worcester to welcome you here in Worcester and feel at home. And we love our visitors and we love friends. So welcome here and God bless you. Also, I want to take this wonderful opportunity to thank Charms Media, especially Alex, for the good work that he's doing. This has been great to us because there are so many things that has been happening and we couldn't be able to tell our story. Nobody else could have been able to tell the story. And I know here in the US there are so many people who are doing good things, marvelous things, but there's nobody to tell that story. And we want to thank you for telling this story for us. And let's appreciate Charms Media and Alex for the good work that he's doing. And he's a great man, and we thank God for that. This is a very amazing event today. This is a great moment that we have, that we can be able to tell the story, we can be able to express ourselves, we can be able to tell each other what we are doing, and we can be able to encourage one another in all that we are doing. So it's a great moment of remembrance, to remember what we are doing, what you're doing is a great moment. Also, is a great moment also. God has given us that we can be able to give back to where we came from. So Charms Media has given us a good opportunity that we can be able also to give back to our community, and also we can be able to invest back home. Actually, I just came back from Kenya last week on Thursday. And there are great things that are also happening in Kenya that we need to know, we need to hear, so that we can be able to encourage each other. As I've said, I was born and brought up in Kenya, in Gatundu North. in a place called Kahata. And you know, Kahata in English means stuck. So I don't know whether we were stuck there, but God was able to remove me from that. And God has been able to brought me here and to tell you the things that we have been doing that we are proud of. As each and every one of us, I was brought up in a very, not in a very good background, because all of us, we have challenges, getting education, getting water, getting food. There are those challenges. And all of us, I know most of us, we have been encountered that. But I'm grateful because I was brought up with one thing: faith and generosity, which my parents instilled that in me. And that's a great investment that they did to me. And that's why I feel that I want to give back to the community and to give back home. Also, faith in God is a great thing because it makes you break some of those chains, some of those strongholds that sometimes hold us back, not to be able to do what we have been called to do and to fulfill our purpose. As I've said, life was hard, and I know each and every one of us, life was hard in Kenya. It's not easy, but with God, everything is possible. As I can say, especially in my family, I was the first to get high school education in my family, and I'm the third. So my two brothers didn't go to high school. So that can tell you more. I started laboring like anybody else, doing manual work, digging ditches, koroga, and all that. Praise the Lord. But that didn't deter, because of faith and because of God and because of determination. Because that time, or probably even you didn't lack the ability, but what you lacked, and what I lacked at the moment, is opportunity. That's what is the struggle for many. 2001, me and my wife and my two little kids, we migrated here, and actually we came in Worcester, and we have never left Worcester. We have been in Worcester all that long. You know, when we were there, we were thinking that when we come, we'll find a job waiting for us, money waiting for us, houses waiting for us, cars waiting for us, but that was not the case. So you have also to struggle again. And I remember one time in Muribar here, because that's where I was living, praying that if God blesses me, I will definitely give back to my country. And I remember praying that prayer. And God didn't disappoint. And that prayer was the beginning of my organization mission of building the bridges. My organization is called Focus Dream Center. And the acronym of Focus is Families, Orphans, Children Under Stress. So my mission is to build bridges for those families. And that's not just a project or just a non-profit organization. It's a burden that turned into a vision that turned into a mission. And since 2002, I have been in that mission, doing that, empowering vulnerable families, orphans, children, and communities. And creating solutions and partnership. my organization, Focus Dream Center, which also I'm the founder of Hosanna Liberty Churches in Kenya. And also, I'm the founder of Wellspring Capital Investment and Management companies in Kenya. And also, I'm the founder of Wellspring Staffing Solutions here in Worcester. And also, Focus Dream Center also is an organization that's registered here in Worcester, Massachusetts. And actually, my office is next a few blocks from here, and I work from here with a team, and also have teams that I work with back home in Kenya. I have 4 pillars. I call them pillars of impact for Focus, and one pillar is economic empowerment pillar. In economic empowerment pillar, I have created a network of schools. Right now, we have from PP1 up to college. My college is called Focus Dream Vocational and Technical Training College. Actually, that's where I had gone for this time, because we graduated 140 students in nursing. We have other courses that we do. Also, we have a primary school. Now, in a plan of high school, we have a company, a water company. We are doing. Also, we have now, when you go to charity, I have charity. Also, I have the churches, and that's what we're doing. So, as I have said, this was our that graduation that we just did. We graduated, last year we graduated 167. This year we graduated 140. And let me tell you, this I was thinking was just a small thing that I'm doing. This has opening doors for students to get job in Germany, Thailand, UK, also in Kenya. We thought that like a CNA is something that's we didn't think about. They are getting employment also in Kenya, and that has changed the atmosphere back there. And I'm grateful to God for that. Therefore, when we said our remittances, our money, if we are organized and we are structured, we can be able to change and help even more people. Like now, I have a driving school also. They are getting employment. They are getting skills, because what they lack is the skills. And when you give them skills, they are able to get jobs, and also you can be able to train them even to do businesses. And then you're not only helping them, you are giving them the dignity and the capacity to be able to support themselves and to support their families. The second one I have is social support and outreaches. Social support and outreaches, I have an organization that we do what we call prepare, empower, promote, enable, and achieve in schools, primary school and high school. We help them. We have a feeding program that we feed every day. In a school, we feed them every day. And also we have orphans and care support, where we deal with only the orphans. We pay for their school fees. We give them food. We give them sometimes shelter. We look for shelter for them. And so the remittance that I send, and we send, it go a long way, changing life. And when I was talking about that, I'm thinking about one child that I have supported all through, called Ezekiel. Ezekiel came to our orphan center, crying. She didn't have a parent. She had his grandmother, and we took that young boy. That young boy did very well in Kenyatta High School. Now he's in university, and he's doing very good in the university. Actually, his goal is to come to Harvard University. And I'm very proud when I go back home and he tells me that I'm planning to go to Harvard University to do neurosurgeon. That small remittance that I said is doing. And I have thousands and thousands of testimonies of them like Ezekiel. Then the other pillar, the third pillar is wellness and well-being initiatives. Like we talk about clean water, sanitary, having a good sanitary areas. That's another thing that we are doing. So it's not only physical, but also we are taking care of emotional and also generational change, which is a powerful thing. But the other pillar, the fourth pillar, is spiritual engagement. For that short time, we have been able to plant 13 churches. And some of the churches that we are planting, actually, there's a church I planted in Kajiado, there's a church in Kwale County, in Kwale County. So it's all over the country. And not only that we are preaching, but also we are giving them the skills and empowerment that they need to be able to move forward. And actually, right now, I just came from Kenya. I had a crusade in Murera. I just planted a new church in Ruiru in Murera. Actually, on March, I had a crusade where we had 50 people who gave their life to Jesus. Actually, one of the missions that I did in Royal Prison, and 18 prisoners gave their life to Jesus, which is a powerful thing. So not only physical, emotional, also we are taking care of the spiritual man, and we are doing that. We are happy of building bridges of hope through that. As the Bible says, unless the Lord build the house, the builders do it in vain. So we have allowed God to help us to build the bridges of hope for those who are back home that we left back home. And we are grateful. Actually, this June, I had a missionary that I had gone with for the missions. And I was very happy to see they were not going just for tourism. They are going for a mission. When they are dancing with those children, when they are encouraging those children, when they are praying for those children, it's a great thing because they are changing their life, and we thank God for that. Now I was saying whatever I do, but now I want to finish by saying the missing link, where all of us can come in. The missing link is we are here, and God has given us opportunity. God has blessed us. Now, and the money that we send, and I know we said to our families and we said to our friends, when we set them in a structured way, in a systematic way, in a planned way, that small money that we send go a long way in changing people's life. And that's where Alex come in. That if we can organize ourselves, like what I'm saying we have been able to achieve or to do, I can't do that if I don't have a structure. If I don't have a system, I cannot be able to do that. But because I have a system and I have a structure, I can be able to do that. And that's why this meeting is very important. Because Alex has brought us a way that now we can be able to combine our effort and we can have a structure, we can have a system. And I'm telling you, if we can do that, through his guidance and leadership, we can do much, much more, and we can be able to invest more, we can be able to change lives more, we can be able to do something which is a lasting solution even for our country. Because as we say, sometimes we wait for the government, but government can do too much. But if we organize ourselves, we can do great things back home. So by those few remarks, if you want to know more about Focus, you can contact me. And if you want to go to our website is www.focusdreamcenter.org, and we can talk more. And thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much, Alex, for the opportunity. We really appreciate this opportunity that you have given to us.
Thank you, Reverend Kariuki, while you are still there. Tumpige makofi. Great. The key point there, organized remittances. So is there any question for Reverend Kariuki? Or a comment, compliment? Yeah. So, hakuna. So makofi tena kwa Reverend. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
He's available, and then we were to play some video, but you can get it on YouTube. So just a reminder, a lot of our content is on our YouTube channel. So that is Chams Media TV. So if you can just Google YouTube, if you've not subscribed, kindly subscribe to that channel. You are missing a lot if you are not on that channel. So some of you, we've documented your stories. They are there under one roof. For example, Reverend Kariuki's story is there. You can go and watch it. And as I indicated earlier, in the past we would come with so many, it's an exhibition style of, event, exhibition. But from your feedback, we changed the model where it's now about dialogue, it's about your welfare. So that as you plan to invest back home, there are certain things that could be retarding that investment. It could be about new immigration laws that you need to be educated about, legal aspects of doing business, cross-border trade. So much has changed in the two administrations, in Kenya and in the US. So that's the purpose of our forum, to educate you as we talk investment, because without that, then what are we investing? Also, there's someone who said, yes, educate us also on our health matters. We invest well when we are healthy. Sindio? So on that note, allow me to introduce Jeffney Orina. Tumpigie makofi akikuja. He's a prominent lawyer around here, mnamjua, to just now educate us about immigration laws. Maybe what has changed, we don't know. Pick out the highlights, and also local laws here that are relevant to you as you think investing home and away. Tumpigie makofi tena Jeffney Orina. Mr. Orina, karibu.
Asante sana Alex. Bwana asifiwe. Jinsi ambavyo umesikia, mimi naitwa Jeffney Orina. I'm an attorney and an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I'm based here in Boston. Alex, usianze kunihesabia, kwanza nataka kutoa ushuhuda. A while back I was watching, I think it was NTV, you were doing the Daring Abroad. And I used to see all these stories of Kenyans who are in America and who are in other countries are doing amazing. And I used to admire that. I think I watched, there's a year, I think I watched all your work. And it really motivated me, and it was always my dream to move here and also pursue my dreams here. But now what Alex failed to tell me is that before you get to that story where to that level where your story is documented, there are challenges you find along the way. So after I got my visa, I moved to the United States. I landed, just before I got here, I didn't know anybody in Boston. So I asked an auntie of mine who stays in Texas whether they know somebody who lives in Boston. So they told me, I have a gentleman who lives in Boston called Albert. So he gave me the number, we talked, and they said he could host me for a few days before I settled. And I know this is something that you guys have had, people have gone through the same. So I get to Logan International Airport, Albert doesn't pick his call. So that day I slept at Logan International Airport, and it was August, but it was not very cold, so I managed. I had my Gikomba jacket, so I tried and survived. So the next day I went to Northeastern University. I'd come to do my master's at the Northeastern School of Law. I went to the Office for International Students, and I told them, I'm a new student from Kenya, I'm here. Can you help me find accommodation? They gave me a link to apartment.com. So at that point, you don't have a phone, you don't have anything. So I think I slept at the school halls for about 3 days trying to figure out. So finally I went to an hotel. I had some money that I had sold my car in Kenya before I moved here. So I still had like 500,000 Kenyan shillings on me. So I went to an hotel somewhere in Dorchester. So they told me it's 200 per night. So I paid the money. I told them, can I use my card? I had a KCB card. So my KCB card could not read in Boston. For some reason, it didn't work. So they told me there is a 7-Eleven across, you can go and withdraw and come and pay. So I went there. I withdrew $200. So when I went back, they told me, when you pay cash, you need $200 for deposits, security deposits, so that you're able to stay. So going back, I was not able to withdraw again because KCB has a limit of 50,000, I believe. So I went there. I think the person who was working there just looked at me with my bag from Gikomba and the way I was looking, my accent and everything. He told me, just sleep there, you'll sort out yourself tomorrow. So I also, that day I slept at the hotel lobby. So I went back to Northeast and I told them my predicament. Now they referred me to Zillow, which is more complicated than apartment.com. So all this time, I slept at the student halls, the classrooms for quite some time. Then I used to do Airbnb back in Kenya. So I looked for all numbers that I knew that people who live in the United States. I tried calling all of them, but finally I found there's a gentleman I used to host at Nakuru when I used to do Airbnb. So I called him, I told him I came here for school. I have nowhere to go. I've been sleeping at the student classroom. So he told me there's a gentleman who lives in Boston. Actually, that gentleman lives in Methuen, not here in Boston. So I went there. I stayed there for a few months. Then I got myself together, and I found a very supportive gentleman. His name is Kensol. He's right there. So the first thing is you can just do him, Kensol. So he told me in this town, the first thing you need is a car. Once you have a car, you'll be able to survive around. And I think he saw the jacket, my Gikomba jacket, and he told me, you'll not survive with this one in winter. So he took his jacket, he gave me, and he gave me his son's car. A very good Lexus that I used to start operating around, moving around, going to hizi kazi za chini ya maji and stuff like that. So usiku ningeenda kazi, nafanya hiyo, and then during the day I go to class. So nafanya hiyo overnight, nikifika shule asubuhi naingia bathroom, naingia gym, mko napiga shower, then I go to class, and God has been amazing. I graduated, I passed my bar exam, and now I'm practicing here in Massachusetts. Thank you. So I run a law firm called Orina Law. We're based in downtown. We do immigration law. We do family law. It is a boutique law firm, so we also do a bit of probate. And I'm doing my PhD in data privacy, so I'm also specializing in that, AI and data privacy. So let's begin with immigration. You understand the way the regime has changed. And one thing that we are encouraging our people is that things happen, people fall out of status. And when that happens is that you need to talk to someone, talk to an attorney. Don't just find help on ChatGPT. Please talk to an attorney so that you advise them. They can advise you. Take your documents and give them to an attorney. We'll file something called a G28 form so that USIS knows that we are your attorneys. In case of anything happens, you'll call us and we'll be there for you. Something else, as we file, we understand how confusing the immigration forms can be. So we always advise people that it's always good to involve professionals when you're doing your immigration. For the simple reason is that when you come in too late, after your case has been denied, or they have sent you a request for more evidence, or they have sent you a notice of intention to deny, it becomes more complicated. There are simple things that you could even check on the form. Maybe there was something they were asking on the form which you filled wrongly, and it complicates your case altogether. So we always encourage people, please find an attorney to help you do this. The second thing today being an investment forum, I'll not talk more about immigration. And just just as a point of information too, to remind you that this is not legal advice. This is just education and general information that we're sharing today. So in whatever that you want to do, I know Kenyans are very hardworking people. I'm sure 95%, if not 98 or more % of us run some sort of business in one way or the other. So it is always an important thing that you incorporate your legal planning from the very beginning of your investments. In the legal field, we have something that we say that the later you come, the higher your fees. We have something, there's this saying that we've heard over the years that prevention is better than. So for lawyers, prevention is cheaper than representation. So assuming you want to start a business today, if you came today to my office for a consultation, I'll charge you $300 for an hour consultation, for example, or 200 or 100, whatever I'll charge you for consultation for that business you want to start. At that point, it's just 300. But when you go, maybe you start running your business, then you realize there's a permit that you didn't have and the state is at your door. Now, it is more complicated. Do you think I'll charge you 300 at that point? So if they take you to court and you convicted for something and you come at that level, is it going to be cheaper than the previous session that you would have come? So that's why we encourage you, please protect your investment and find legal help as soon as possible. So in terms of legal formations, there are all these things that we talk about, LLPs, LLCs, and all that. So please consult an attorney when you want to start all your investment. Just to give you a bit of statistics, can somebody give me a guess of the number of lawsuits that I filed in the US in a year? Just a guess, anyone? We have about 4 million suits filed, 40 million lawsuits filed in the US every year. And out of these 53 from the statistics from the SBA is that 53% of businesses are sued every year. So you can see how big that is. That's why we want to encourage you that please come, let's start the journey together. Don't come when it is too late. There are also these challenges of the laws that when you want to do the cross-country regulations that differ from the US and from Kenya. We also do that. Please find an attorney. We also have, I saw other attorneys in the house as well, Muriuki and someone else. So please come as early as possible so that we're able to help you plan for your businesses, to help you plan for your investments, so that you don't fall into all these scams, and it is always cheaper to come early. So I want to finish my presentation there. My cards are somewhere at the back there. If you need legal services, it's something you can always talk. Na tutaongea kama watu wa nyumbani, sita kugonga. Asante sana na Mungu awabariki.
Makofi tena kwa Mr. Orina. Makofi tena kwa Orina. So definitely there must be a burning question regarding legal aspects of business, immigration laws, anything you want clarified, especially immigration. Okay.
It's not burning, it's here. It's just a quick question. You said the offices are downtown Boston or
Boston. Okay. Thank you.
Good. There you are, umepata client.
Yeah.
And I've learned something, Ati. Let in, the higher the fees.
The later you come, the higher the fees.
So wale wamechelewa, ile registration tuta increase. Yeah, na nawajua tu.
Yeah.
So, and if you've not registered, because we need the record, plus our dinner fee, kindly see Grace there. Grace, mama wakuone, we ndio mwenyewe. Grace Nyathira amekuwa akitusaidia sana kucoordinate hapa. Tumpigie makofi pia. Yeah, now umesikia.
The later you come, the higher the fee.
The fee. So any other question or comment on immigration, legal issues? Reverend Kariuki?
Thank you. You have said that you are a migration lawyer, but also business do you also do in Kenya and here, or just here?
Oh, yes, thank you. As I mentioned, I'm also an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I run a law firm in Kenya and in the US. We have a law firm at Upper Hill. We also trade in Kenya we trade as Orina and Orina Advocates, but in the US we trade as Orina Law, so we can help on both worlds.
Tumpige makofi tena. So this just, I'm gonna ask on behalf of someone online, ameuliza, amekusikiza sana, ako Kericho. So tuogope kuja America, and what is it? Nasikia ati ukiwa tu kwa street nini, you can be picked. Are there issues? I think it's a pertinent question. So are there things that have really changed as an immigrant, as a visitor, or you've come here for one reason or two? What has changed?
There's been a lot of change, and a lot continues to happen because there's a change in administration. What we try to encourage people is that please try to seriously consider your immigration status. Always consult an attorney. Don't just Google or talk to people. They advise you to file asylum. You go there with some funny stories, and you end up out of status and things like that. The best way is always to ensure that you live within the law. Nchi ya wenyewe ni ya wenyewe, ukienda huko unafanya vile wenyewe wanataka. So just be sure to live within the law. To avoid maneno mingi, kuna Wakenya wengi wamekuwa na maneno ya DUI and stuff like that, and that really messes up the immigration status. So as long as you live within the law, in as much as there is change of implementation, the laws are still fairly favorable for any ambitious Kenyan who wants to come to the United States and pursue their ambitions.
Any other comment, question? Yeah, one more.
Thank you so much. My name is Salome Thuo. I wanted to ask, do you deal with wills and trusts?
Yeah, I'd actually wanted to do that, but time was a bit was not on my side. We do wills, and we try to encourage our people is that please let's do this, let's plan this together. We do wills, estate planning, and probate. For instance, on probate, instead of waiting the way our people have done over the years, that when you die is when people begin doing probate. We encourage people to do wills because it's cheaper to do a will than it is to do probate, going to court and succession and things like that. As I said, the later you come, the higher the fees. If you come for a will, it's way cheaper than when you die and then your family comes for us to do the succession and probate and things like those. And even something like asset protection. We also do something called asset protection, so that you have the property that the property that we're looking for every day. Let's get a planned way of safeguarding that so that it can run into generations. We work with insurances to do that as well. So all that property you have, we can get a plan, we can develop for you an asset protection plan and how you can manage that for your family for generations to come. When you come, we'll not care why you want to do that. We'll just do it for you. I had a client in Kenya who had a very funny story. He came that yeye anataka achunge pesa yake, hataki akikufa bibi akule pesa yake na Ben 10, which is to them is it's a good reason. Yeah, shida yake alikuwa anaogopa akikufa bibi yake atatafuta Ben 10 wakule pesa yake. So it is a funny reason, but it's also a legitimate reason. So whatever your reason is, when you come, we'll definitely find a solution for you. And what we can do, we'll refer you to the right people. Thank you.
Thank you. Makofi tena kwa Orina, asante sana. You know where to get him. As I said, this is a very interactive session. Remember, we are humanizing this dialogue, and at the same time, you'll get an opportunity to really now get to hear more about real areas of investment, including real estate. And okay. So someone is. Is that AI? AI is imitating me. Or is it because I nilipita katikati? Sawa. We now want to shift the gear and hear about life insurance, and allow me to introduce Salome Thuo. Tumpigie makofi. Yeah, it's getting better and better. Karibu.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you, Grace, for reaching out to me to talk about this important topic, which is life insurance. Again, my name is Salome Wanja Thuo. I'm a mom. Actually, my boys are here today, and I'm a wife. My husband is here today because we are heading to the airport as soon as we leave here. They are going to Kenya. And I'm also a community organizer who's very passionate about our community and educating our communities on any matters that will help us and transform our lives. Like one of the speakers said over here, let's work together to transform our lives. We shouldn't continue to do the same, status quo, things that are not working. So life insurance is very broad, and I have a very short period of time to talk today. So I'm going to be very quick, and I have put some papers on the tables over there. There's a QR code you can scan and reach out to me after this. So again, I'm going to be brief so that I can respect the time over here. Now, when most of us think of life insurance, we usually think about death. And we're just thinking, when I pass away, my family will get the benefits. And just like the lawyer said, I have spoken to some people who have told me there's no way I'm getting life insurance. If I pass on and my family is given $100K, they're gonna drink themselves to death. So whatever he said is actually true. But again, you can set up a will and trust so that that money goes somewhere else. So in general, life insurance, there's more to it than just death. You can have life insurance so that you have protection, peace of mind, and be able to leave a legacy. I have a question for each of you today. If something happened tomorrow and say you passed away, would your family be okay? Would they be able to pay the bills, the mortgage? Or would they maybe end up on the streets? So it's something that we need to think about to protect our families. So some of the topics I'm going to talk about are going to be just basics of life insurance. And I thought one of the things I should do is just explain the basics, like what is a term insurance? A term insurance is an insurance you have for a period of time, like say 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It's when that time ends, then that insurance ends. Most of us have a term life insurance, either with your job or we bought one where it's going to be ending in a couple of years. And I was talking to an old friend over here today. He got like a term insurance 30 years ago. It's probably going to end when he's 60. And then what happens after that? So that's a term policy. Think of it like renting insurance. A permanent policy is a policy that you get for life. That is like a whole life IUL policy. You have that covered for your life. So those are a little bit more expensive. But again, think about it like owning a house. It's more expensive, but when you finish paying for it for the 20 years, 30 years, you have it for life. And we have permanent policies where you can pay for them for a period of time. And one of the tips I have for you guys is you can start with a term policy, which again is for like 10, 20, 30 years, with the goal of converting that to a permanent policy. So you don't have to start with the expensive policy. You can start with one that is cheaper, and then when you have the funds, you can convert to a permanent policy. Then the next thing I want to talk about is living benefits. And this is something that I want our community to take to heart. Today, if you get sick, what would happen to you? How many of us in this room, by a show of hand, know somebody who has had a heart attack, stroke, or cancer? By a show of hand. I think almost all of us in the room, right? What happens to you when you have any of those ailments? Are you able to work? Are you able to work? Probably not. Do the bills stop? The bills don't stop. You still have to pay the bills. Sometimes you lose your job, right? But the bills are still coming. What happens to you? What happens to your family? Right? I want us to think about that. There is no reason why we shouldn't plan strategically so that we are able to take care of ourselves. So when you have an insurance that has living benefits, you are able to accelerate your policy so that you get paid a portion of your policy ahead of time. You can get paid anywhere from 20 to about 80% of your policy. So for instance, if you say you have a policy for 100,000, you can get 20 to say $80,000 off your policy because you're getting paid a discounted amount. And that happens in case you have a critical illness, like cancer, heart attack, stroke, chronic illness where you're not able to perform like 2 activities of daily living, and say if you're in a critical accident where you're paralyzed. So instead of going to the community and asking the community for a GoFundMe, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will allow me, we usher in our guest of honor, Balozi amefika. Karibu Balozi. Karibu. He's walked in style. Tumpigie makofi Balozi. So that you're able to watch the presentations. Karibu. Yeah, so it's a great honor. Our guest of honor, His Excellency Balozi David Kerich is here with us, and we want to really appreciate your presence. As I said, this journey began in Houston. In Houston, we had Consul General Ezra Chiloba presiding over the forum in Houston. In New Jersey, we were lucky to have Deputy Balozi to preside over, and today we have Balozi with us, and he'll be with us in Washington, D.C. So in Washington, D.C., Pia, Sapa Simbali, I think, 5 hours, 6 hours, come join us. Balozi, we are doing presentations. We've educated ourselves so far, so good, and we are continuing with our presentation. So karibu sana, you will really enjoy our presentations. Makofi tena kwa Balozi.
Thank you so much, and karibu Balozi. So I'm going to go back to my presentation again so that we can continue. So we were talking about living benefits and what it means to have living benefits. If you end up critically ill with a heart attack, stroke, cancer, you can accelerate your benefits. If you have a chronic illness where you're not able to perform 2 activities of daily living, you can accelerate your benefits again. Or if you're in a car accident where you're paralyzed and cannot work, instead of having to go and do a GoFundMe, you can accelerate your policy so that you have peace of mind instead of panicking because you don't know where you're going to pay your bills from. Now, I put a flyer on the table over there that has like a chart, and it kind of gives you an idea of how much it costs to buy a term policy. It's the one with the little table over here. And the reason I usually put that information is so that you can see how cheap it is to buy a policy. And you can get yourself, again, a policy for $100,000. If you are a female, it's like $21. If you're male are a little bit more expensive. That's only $25. For that amount, you can buy yourself peace of mind. I usually call it opening yourself a Me Fund Me account. Instead of relying on GoFundMe accounts to go and get money when something happens, open a Me Fund Me account with a term policy. The amounts you're seeing over there, again, are a term policy, which is, again, for 10, 20, 30 years. It's just for a temporary period of time. Now, the next thing I want to talk about life insurance is a vehicle that many of us did not know, especially when we came over here, which is IUL policies. IUL policies are indexed universal life insurance policies. These are policies that have a cash value in them, where a portion of the money that you're paying goes to like a cash bucket. That money grows tax-free, and it also, you can withdraw that money tax-free. So you're not paying for it taxes as it's growing, and you're not paying taxes when you're withdrawing. And then, because it's indexed, it has market protection, meaning the money that is in your bucket today would never go down. Even if the stock market goes to negative 20, 30, depending on what's going on, your account is set. And remember, Warren Buffett says the first rule of investing is never lose your money. And the second rule is what? Remember rule number 1. So when you put your money somewhere, make sure that you're investing in a vehicle that is safe. Recently, we've had instances where people are putting money in some vehicles that where they were promised so many things, but we didn't do our research. So make sure that you're doing your research. Again, this is a life insurance policy, but it has an aspect of it where you can put some of your money to grow for you. Again, because it's an insurance policy, it protects you in case you pass away too soon, in case you become ill, like we talked about living benefits. Remember that when you live here, and say you are blessed and you live to say like about 100 years old, and you're worried about running out of money. So an IUL policy gives you all those benefits in one vehicle. Under the same bucket, we have IULs for kids. Why would you want to buy insurance for your child? And they are so young, right? There's pretty much no reason. However, you can buy an IUL policy which you use as a vehicle for saving for your kids' college. This is money that you can use for anything, be it for their college tuition, or you can use it to buy their first car, or you can use it for their first business, their first home, and so on and so forth. And because you're buying a kids policy, which again are so cheap, most of the money that you're paying into the policy goes into a cash bucket, and it grows again, remember, tax-free. And when you're withdrawing that money, it's still tax-free. For example, my nephew just graduated high school the other day, and they used his IUL policy to purchase his first car. So that's how you can apply money that you put in an IUL. So there's, again, no reason why we shouldn't buy policies for our kids. In fact, you should actually start early, because kids' policies are super cheap, and you're able to protect them at the same time. So a couple of Q&As or things that come up often is, how much coverage do I need? That is personal, depending on what your life circumstances is, but typically you want to think about 10 to 20 times your annual income. Another question is, what if I don't qualify? When you apply for this type of insurance because of the living benefits, they have to do what they call medical underwriting, where they check your information, medical information through a database. And if you are too risky, then they may not insure you. So if you don't qualify, what should you do? So there are several options, including maybe finding a coverage with another policy, or you can look into other vehicles like annuities, and even look into final expense, so that should something happen, then your family is not left out there. Another question is, I have work insurance. Is that enough? Somewhat. Because work insurance is a term policy. It's only as good as the time that you are there. If you get laid off, if you lose your job for whatever reason, then you have no coverage. So make sure you have yourself a small policy on the side that you can actually use to protect yourself and your family. And remember, living benefits, meaning you can access it while you're still alive. And then another question is, can I get covered if I don't have citizenship? And the answer is yes. Many carriers usually insure people who are not citizens, as long as you have the proper documentation and you are truthful and say that I still don't have my documents. We can be able to put in the information saying that your policy is still, your process is still ongoing. So again, if you don't have papers, that doesn't mean that you cannot get policy. So I'm gonna wrap up my presentation today by saying knowledge is potential power. Action is real power. So whatever we are learning today from all these great speakers, let's make sure that we put it into action. As I said, many of us can get a small policy, like about 100,000 K, and that can cover you for maybe 20 to 80K. Why should we continue to rely on GoFundMe accounts and you know how many we have day after day? When you can just contribute $30 to your policy or $60 to your policy every month. How about you pay yourself first, open that MeFundMe account for yourself. And the next thing I want to say is modern life insurance gives you protection, wealth, and legacy. So let's stop passing bills to our kids. Instead, pass blessings to them. Thank you so much.
What a parting shot. Let's not
Stop passing bills, instead pass blessings to them.
stop passing bills to our kids, instead pass blessings to them. It's a tongue twister. It reminds me, kantai, atai. You know, and if kantai, why can't I tie the tie that kantai? Tumpigie Salome makofi. Wow. Any question for Salome before she leaves? She has to dash to the airport, but she can pick one or two questions. Very informative presentation there. Any? Gina naulize.
Gina ni Muriuki. Why are men's policies more expensive than for women?
Good question.
No, that's a great question. I honestly don't know. I do have to say I think men are a little bit riskier in terms of, the things they do. So again, I don't know. It's from the statistics about how long men live and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Any other question? One more, Salome.
Hi, Salome. For this insurance, do you have to be... Sorry? Oh, my name is Wamboi. For this insurance, do you have to be in the United States? Because you're talking about documentation. So can I be insured even if I'm not living in the United States?
Can I be insured if I'm not living in the US?
Thank you, Wamboi. That's a great question. The policies that I'm dealing with, yes, you do have to be in the United States. But there are companies that offer policies that can be international, or you can get a policy from your country that has the same benefits. So again, living benefits.
Makofi tena kwa Salome. Thank you so much. Na safari njema, and thank you for coming with your family. Tunawapenda sana. Great. Just on a light note, I was told, someone told me, yes, why we are risky, what as men, is because we don't know how to handle stress, maneno mengi. Is it? At Pia, we are not good at multitasking. Is it true? Is it true? We are not good at, which means you are likely to break something very easily. Yeah. That's on a light note. Yes, so far so good, and I've just received greetings from a team that is coming. We want to value them. They were at an event celebrating Mama ambaye alikuja kuwatembelea. She's turning 90 today, and they are winding up to join us. So we celebrate you people. We celebrate that you are even able to bring your mama, baba huku, live with you, get exposure, maybe get treatment hapa na pale. So they are on their way, and they said we give them time that tusimalize kabla wafike. Wakishamaliza la keki, wakuje wakule keki yetu hapa. Remember, dinner will be served later. And just to remind you, if you don't have a raffle ticket for the 3 giveaways I told you about, get a raffle ticket from Grace. And you will not win if you are not here. So if you go, then we announce you as a winner. We'll go to the next. We'll just keep going to the next. Once again, asante sana, Ambassador, for joining us. We really appreciate. Now, I shift the gear again, and we go to a remittance company known as Lemfi. You know about them. So Lemfi, and partnering with Chams Media, are giving you a special offer. A special offer so that if you download Lemfi app now, and the referral is the word abroad. Note it down, abroad. So download using the code abroad. That is Lemfi. Then you send $50, you get cash refund of $20. So that's a special offer from Lemfi, who are our partners. We've been with them from Houston, New Jersey, and here. So we are representing them here, but they'll be physically with us in the Washington, D.C. Forum. So here is a video from Lemfi.